I sold a 200 plus offer, I think about 275,000 offer with just 70 followers. Yeah, that's a premium offer. Okay, I found out that there's money online, right? There's mad money online, but if you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to communicate your value, if you don't know how to articulate the value, if you don't know how to identify the real problem that people want to solve, that they are willing to pay for, you can be creating content, which is why I'm like, okay, Phil, let's go and start creating content. Okay, you're putting out content, you're creating content every day, you're showing up, but what is your sales strategy? How are you going to collect people's money? And you collecting people's money, you know that you're not just collecting their money for nothing, you're going to provide value. So how do you position that value? How do you articulate that value? In fact, what is the problem that you're going to help them solve? And which product are you going to use to solve the problem? How are you going to even use the product to solve their problem? And how do you articulate it properly in a way that gets their attention enough to want to pay you? Like all of these things that I'm going to be breaking down, because this is my skill. Yeah, this is the thing I've done for long. This is what I was even doing before I started, pivoting into helping you change your life. But now I realize that the past few weeks I sat down, I'm like, okay, Phil, you want to help these people change their life. You want to help them start regulating their emotion, start maximizing their time, start being more disciplined, start focusing on their goals, pursuing their goals and like just achieving their goals and all of that. But you know that without money, some of these things cannot be achieved, right? Yes. And I said, yes. I said, yes. Because without money, a lot of all these things cannot be achieved. You want to grow your business, you need visibility, because you can't keep depending on Mark Zuckerberg to push your content, especially when you're still trying to, understand this content thing and how it works. And even if you have understand this content thing, you still need to push your brand by paying money to Mark Zuckerberg to help you push your content. When you're not a content creator, you're a business owner, so you need to know how to create content that gets people's attention so that they follow you, and then you convert that following into paid cash. So, and I said, okay, I think we need to go back to the basics where we're actually talking about sales and messaging. I sold a 200 plus offer, I think about 275,000 offer with just 70 followers. Yeah, that's a premium offer. Okay, so you that have 200 followers, you can actually be making money. You that have 300 followers, 500, you can actually be making money. All you need to do is understand the problem you're solving, who has that problem, and how to articulate the problem enough for them to want to pay you for it, for the solution, like period. So I'm like, okay, since we need to start talking about money, we need to start talking about sales, so that these people can actually start making, no matter how little that they need, in order for them to push their self forward, push their life forward. Because money is really, really needed. Money is highly required for the place that you want to go, for the journey. If you don't have money, you're going to be stuck. And a lot of the time, you're not stuck because you just want to be stuck. You're not stuck because of lack of information. You're stuck because you don't have money. Period. Let somebody come and argue with me. You're not stuck because you lack information. You're not stuck because you're lazy. You're stuck because you don't have money. Period.